Hello, we are Young,
Irene,
Anastasia,
Anna.
and Lucilla. In this video, we're going to explain the causes and the solutions of the crisis in 2008 and the crisis phenomenon in general. We hope you will enjoy it.
Italy is a wonderful country for its food, beautiful cities, and culture. But we have a serious economic problem. In our country, there's a crisis since 2008, which increased in 2011. But what is a crisis?
Sometimes it's difficult to say, but we will give you a general definition. A crisis is an economic phenomenon which involves a falling in a state's GDP, and it has as a consequence the unemployment, and also the production of goods in a crisis goes down. Let's talk about the causes of the crisis. This crisis was caused by several factors. First of all, it began in the USA, where there was a private debt. American people, at the beginning, bought houses taking loans from banks. But when the value of houses went down because there was too much supply than demand, banks didn't give more loans to people which couldn't repay them. As a consequence, there wasn't enough money in the economy, and started unemployment and a decrease in production.
So, because of international exchanges, crisis spread also in Italy, where aggravated the problem of the public debt. The public debt is the debt the government has with banks, at which it demands loans for employing money. Borrowed money is employed by politicians to be re-elected, investing it in pension system, in the building of useless structures, and in the health care, things which could make happy the population but aren't productive.
All the states have a public debt, but they didn't have our problems in 2008. Why? Because they didn't have a high spread like us. Let's talk about spread. We know that it is the difference between our bonds and German ones. Spread measures the availability of a state for someone which wants to invest in it. So if our spread is high, it means that our state has a low possibility to attract. What are BRICS? It is an acronym of Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, states which in the last year have started being increasing. These states are full of resources with many goods and services because in the last year the citizens purchased power rate.
This is one of the crisis causes, the falling in the education system. We can say that a low education system corresponds a low economic position and vice versa. In fact, our state has one of the lowest scholastic population. In opposition, BRICS and other states have a very high school competence. For that population, school and study are very important for all the family.
People's inefficiency is another factor which causes an economic crisis, because if a state is unorganized, it won't attract investments. We are at 73rd place in the list of the Mondial Bank of the states which attract investments. Another problem which causes inefficiency in our states is the relationship between merit and intercession. With merit, we mean the ability of putting the right people in the right place for their specialization. Merit can be useful to put things in the right way in a state because the right people in the right way are very efficient and produce better and more. But many times, like usually happens in Italy, intercession wins on merit. How to solve the problem of intercession? With the so-called social control.
After seeing what happens when there's a crisis and what causes it, let's go looking how we can solve the crisis. Let's take the crisis of 1929. What did they do to solve this crisis? Because of the continuing decreasing of prices, people thought that decreasing the quantity of products would solve this problem. So they destroyed a lot of products while a lot of people were dying. They saw also that crisis happens because they spend a lot, so the best solution was to save money. We can see that if we do that, there will be less production in economy, so a lower number of workers. At last, there will be less money in economy. Thanks to a coincidence then, the UK used a war to uplift economy because the war gave the population jobs for produce weapons, introducing in this way money to spend for. Then Roosevelt thought to give money, job and optimism to people, the same way which England had used, but without war, and the same way applied by Swedish before. But we can't use these ways. To solve the crisis, we can't use the ways used by England and the USA. In fact, we don't need to put other jobs in our economy because we already have them. We just need people more productive. What the solution is Italy thinking now to solve the crisis of 2008? Italy wants to increase the public debt because it thinks that doing this, also the GDP will grow. Is it a good idea or it has just the goal to attract votes? In fact, if we increase the public debt, there could be the risk of not being able to repay it.
The solution we propose to solve the crisis is to change all the factors.
Sure enough, with the 29th in the reading comprehension, the 33rd in maths, and the 34th in science competences.
But in Japan, not only teachers do school, but also other expert people invited in class from teachers. In Canada, 1 student on 4 is foreign, and at the beginning, 80% of students don't know the language. But at 15 years old, there is no difference between immigrants and not. Sure enough, education is a very important thing. Because we know that our demographic situation has a very high percentage of olds, so we must train our best young people. We also think that the state has to provide money reducing losses. For example, tax evasion, things like cigarette, arms and gamble, making more efficient bureaucratic problems to improve the public provision system. It helps also to change people's mentality with the crisis, infunding trust between the population.
These are all ways to solve the crisis. We hope Italy will be more productive and will attract more business in future. Thanks for watching.